Hello everyone, it's Dragonfire 1000 here, and today I'm going to be making a better Blender tutorial because my other one kind of sucked. I ran through it really quick and that probably was overwhelming for some folks. So, I'm going to go down over the basics on how to do things. I'm not going to get too crazy and too fluffy with everything because a lot of tutorials ramble on too much and I'm not going to do that. So, let's begin with the basics on what things you're going to use frequently. So, the modes you're going to use frequently are object and edit mode. We'll get into these with further tutorials if people want to request it, but object and edit mode are going to be your best friends. Same thing with this little compass over here. This is going to be another one of your best friends for navigating around in a pinch. As you can see there, getting all different sides of the angle. And then another one is going to be the scene collection. That's going to also be your best friend. And of course the toolbar. Just like any art program, this toolbar is your friend till the end. Now, let's go over the basic movements. So, mouse wheel down, or clicking the mouse wheel and holding it, you get to rotate around. If you want to slide around, shift, hold the mouse button. If you want to zoom in and out, mouse wheel up and down just like normal, like you're in a canvas, or you can do control and mouse wheel. Oh, apparently it's not doing it this time. And then, yeah, so you can do that. That's your basic movement. Now, grabbing things. Clip the object, and if you want to grab it, G to grab. Whee! Ignore the fact that that cube's there. That cube didn't exist. Get out of here. So, G to grab, move it around. If you want to move it in a way that you're not like going, then all you just got to do is G, and if we want to go on the y-axis, which we indicated the y is the side, looking at the compass, ooh. If you want to go up and down, look where the Z is, G, Z, ooh. If you want to go forward and back, well, it doesn't look like it's moving anything, so let's go to a different angle, shall we? G, X, ooh, look at that, it moves. So that's basically you're moving around and you're grabbing things. Pretty important, I know. Another thing we want to note is the difference between going from object mode to edit mode. So, I'll show the first fundamental difference. So if we're adding things in object mode, we're basically adding a new entity to this. So a new cube's been created. We don't see it, but if I just go GY, ooh, another cube. How cool is that? So, when you're adding things in object mode, this is treated as a separate entity from this. Now let's go into edit mode by either going this way, or we can hold shift or press shift. Now, if we go shift A again, add a cube. Ooh, magical cube. Now we go back into object mode. This is treated as one whole entity, while this is treated as a separate entity. So if I grab this moves independently. But if I grab this, these are moved together. That's the difference between adding objects in object mode and edit mode. The other fundamental difference is if we go into edit mode, I can grab these guys, I can grab their corners and just, woo, kiss. Whereas if I try to click this one, well, he's just a loner, he's sitting by himself. So that's the difference between edit mode and object mode. Now, do we want to change the shape of this? Hell yeah, we do. So, I'm going to let you in on this first tool that'll be common and will be your best friend. That's called the extrude. So, that is here. It's basically a little square with the green top on it. So, we're going to extrude this and ooh, tower. But we can't do that with this one because it's separate. So, we switch into object mode. We go over here. And we grab these corners. Ooh. Twins. But you see we only moved these edges. Well, guess what? I'll make that tower really nice and thick here. So we'll just Control Z all that. We're back in, we'll make sure we're in edit mode. We're going to hit this thing called the X-ray. You're going to love X-rays, trust me. You grab in, and we're going to grab this. E, and then I'm going to go up. And I hit Z so I can stay straight forward. And then I'm going to go over to this guy. And I'm going to grab them. E, Z. Just like that. Twins to the end. Now, if only I had an airplane. Anyway, 9/11 jokes aside, here's the other thing with editing stuff, right? So I had to switch between that. But now, what if I want to put this guy with these guys? You know, make him so he's not a stinky loner over here. Well, let's grab this, and we're going to hold shift, grab, and then we're going to join these. So we're going to go Control J. Now they're all together. Now we can have 3 towers. Now they're the triplet towers. So we're going to select that all. Easy. Look at that. 3 towers. Now it's not an offensive joke anymore. How cool. So that's just the basics of your edit mode and just the basics of maneuvering things and changing things as they go. Another thing that'll be fun to do is the scale and rotate. So if I grab this again, I'm still in X-ray mode, so I'm grabbing all 4. I'm going to go over to my Z so I can show you the rotation. So I'm going to hit R. And look at that. I rotate that sucker as much as I want. Now if I want to rotate on a different angle, boom, now I can rotate it like this. And if I go from this angle, now I can rotate it this way. It also can rotate basically from where you're looking at, so you can go here and you can kind of give it a nice little twist. But what if you're working on that angle and you want to only rotate it one way without doing that? Well, guess what? That Z, Y, and X is going to come in handy. So now I can do that. I can rotate it while looking at this side. I want to rotate on the Y-axis. I do R and Y. I apparently broke that somehow. I'm not sure how I did that. So RY. RX. Look at that. Not too bad. Another thing we can do is scaling it. So, go over here. If I press S, it'll scale down. Oh, look at that. It's a trapezoid. And if I want to scale it a certain way, at a certain angle, well, you guessed it. Same thing. The XYZ comes in handy again. Or, not the XYZ. Oh, yeah, it is the XYZ. Never mind. So, yeah, you could scale that way. You do X, it's that way. Y, that way. Flap it like a pretty little butterfly. Okay? So that's the basics of manipulating objects and adding them and maneuvering. I hope this tutorial was helpful and a little bit fun. If you want me to elaborate more on different parts of Blender, just let me know in the comments below. And that's great that you had mac and cheese, but alright. We will see you possibly in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.